Where did the idea come from? How did this whole thing get rolling?
Pretty much I was looking to make a movie in one location, and I called up a good friend of mine by the name of Carl Washington, who goes by Rich Wealthy. And him and we had worked together on another movie called Getting High in the Body for a production company. And so I called him up and I said, hey, buddy, do you happen to have a script that takes place in one location? And he said, yes. As a matter of fact, I have one called the Possession Diaries. So he sent it over, and I read it. I thought the premise was very interesting in the point of view of the protagonist. I go, you know what? I've never seen anything like this. I don't recall, but it really intrigued me that we see the transformation and progression of her demonic possession through her own eyes, and then especially being viewed by viewers through the webcam. So there was a lot of things in the script that I'd seen before. The levitation scenes and the demon when Katherine gets inhibited by the demon, that she starts swearing at the priest. You see that in every movie. And I said, you know what, I'm going to take all of that out, all these cliches that I see in all the possession movies, and I'm going to provide my own creative ideas that may creep the audience out. They're ideas that actually I lived through, because sometimes I'm very sensitive to spirits, or, there could be good spirits and bad spirits, and I had situations where they would touch me, talk to me in the ear, or making noises in the background, So I said, you know what, that creeped me out in my own living room. So I'm going to provide that in the script. So I got Carl's permission. I Carl, can I do a major rewrite, based on my own aesthetic reference from, from other movies that I know that I don't want to see, but I can provide some new ideas. Go for it, Juan. Definitely go for it. So I provided the Hollywood theme, as well, and her birthday, ending on her October 31st. I thought that would, give some kind of a spooky, feeling throughout the whole movie, because her birthday's on Halloween, and that's the perfect time to show the creepiness. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I think that worked.
Did the original script take place all from the point of view of the webcam, or were there different scenes in different parts of the house?
Yes, the whole script basically was through the webcam. There was no narrative going on, like getting out of the webcam. And I told Carl, I think that's going to be so boring, just to shoot the whole film through the webcam. I'm just going to, just get out of it, because it's not going to be effective. And so he goes, yeah, I think you're right, Juan. Yeah, it's a movie, bro. You know what I mean? We got to make it as much as intense as possible. And he agreed to it. And also, we don't, in the original script, we don't see Aunt Peggy. It was just pretty much voiceovers coming from the telephone. And I thought maybe, it would be a great idea to get a little bit away from the bedroom and show Aunt Peggy, talking to Rebecca. So we did that on second unit with Eileen D.
As far as casting go, how'd that all go down? Did you have people in mind already, or was it just a basic casting call?
Yeah, when I read the script, I knew who I wanted, people that I know personally as far as actors is concerned. I knew Johnny Ortiz. He was in Mark Ball in USA with Kevin Costner. He was in Peppermint. He was in American Crime. So, he's a kid who's up and coming. His celebrity status is really going up there. And so I said, you know what, I'm going to use him to play Rebecca's boyfriend, who happened to be a white boy, but I switched it to a Latino. And I also knew Fernando Romero, who plays the detective towards the end. I also knew Noel G., who was in The Fast and Furious, Training Day, Bruce Almighty, SWAT, you name it. He's been in every single movie made here in Hollywood. So I knew him. We worked together in many movies. And so he also played the detective towards the end. The only person that I didn't know was James Russo. So I basically went to IMDb Pro and got his contact information. And he called me back the same day, and we met up for a meeting, and he said, you know what, this is an interesting script. I really like the character. I think we can work together, Juan. I go, really? Oh, yes. I was like, really? You want to work with me? Yes. Yes, absolutely. I never seen anything like this. I think I can do a good job. And he's a consummate actor. I mean, we met up before we started shooting. We met up at least 3 times just to go over the scene. We made so many changes that really worked for the film. He goes, why, you know, there's so much talking. You know, let's do something different. Let's not have the priest say all this bunch of wangle shit, you know. Let's just make it very subtle. Let's just more one. I go, you got it, buddy. You got it. You've been around the block, so you're the guy I'll listen to. And so yeah, his scene turned out really good. It took a whole day to shoot his scene, and it was really refreshing to work with somebody like that, you know. And James Russo is really a guy that I really look up to because I've seen him in so many big movies with Al Pacino and Johnny Depp. And having him on set, I mean, it really surprised everybody. Like, wow, they couldn't believe that we have an acclaimed actor.
It was kind of a morale booster for everybody.
Oh yeah, everybody's like, yeah. Well, everybody was like, yes, this is working. This is good. This is good stuff, you know. And so yeah, he really. Once I mentioned that once I had him aboard, I needed a little bit more money, so I got an extra investor to pretty much put the rest of it because of his name, because who he was. You know what I mean?
Did shooting in just one location present any unique problems? Was it getting a little claustrophobic after the end of a shoot or anything like that? No,
it wasn't claustrophobic. I think it was the easiest movie to shoot. We had every resource at our hand on the spot, and you know, the way I shoot, I don't do a shot list or what you call those storyboards. Mm-hmm. You know, I go with the flow with what the scene represents. We do the blocking, and the DP will come up with some ideas how to shoot the scene, and but yeah, the coverage was, you know, I knew it was not going to be very stimulating, you know, visually, because it was all held in one room. But I knew in the back of my head that Katherine was going to bring out what I needed, and also the music and the sound design was going to enhance the scene, you know. And but I just didn't felt it was a challenge, of course, but I didn't felt like it was a blocking spot for me. I thought it helped us to become more creative in creating new ways of shooting the scene. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that benefits the film in some way, like making her feel, like you said, very claustrophobic, or making her feel her bedroom was a prison. You know what I mean? And you know, so I think that benefited the film, even though it wasn't visually stimulating, but you know, I really think that helped the movie, you know, through her performance. I mean, she really carried herself. She really went gung-ho on it, pretty much.
She has very expressive eyes, I noticed when I was watching it.
Yes.
Which definitely helps, since you're mainly focused on her for a good portion of the film.
A portion of the film. And that woman can cry on cue, buddy. It's incredible. I was like, man, I've never seen that before. I interviewed auditioned a lot of girls, and none of them couldn't cry like Katherine, you know. And that's the reason I went with her, because she was really expressive, and she knew how to deliver her lines without me even telling her, giving her any direction. You know, I don't give direction in the beginning. I just want to see what they can bring to the table. you know, and she really brought what I was looking for.
How receptive was she when you did have to direct her in a scene? Did you bounce ideas off of each other, or was she pretty much just like, okay, that's what you want, I'm going to deliver that?
No, she had her own ideas, and I'm always open to an idea, any suggestion. And I said, you know what, Katherine, yeah, let's do that. That will definitely work. You know, I never thought about that, but you know what, let's give it a shot. And most of her ideas, you know, did really work. You know, and of course, you know, she wasn't very difficult to direct. She knew her character very well. She actually, you know, made my job a little easy. But there were times that I did overworked her because I noticed she would get tired, and then when we do the scene, an extra take, I would tell her, hey, sweetie, baby, I didn't see Rebecca in you, so I was wondering if you can bring her back. You were kind of flat. Like, oh, I'm sorry, Juan, I am so tired. I know, sweetie, I know. But she goes, you know what? Let me step away, and I'll come back, and I'll do the scene. So I will give her like 5-10 minutes to regain her energy, regain her character back, and then once she will come in, very, very, very subtle, I will tell, roll camera, roll sound, go Katherine, and she would just deliver, you know. So I know it was very hard on her because there's a lot of emotional scenes, you know, that they're not very easy, like for another person to do. But she was a trooper. I mean, she was a trooper all the way, and I really admire her, for being her first film in a feature film, you know.
How long were the shooting days?
It was only 10 days, and then we ended up doing two extra days on second unit. We did the green screen, and we did Eileen Dietz scenes at a friend's house, just to get away from the bedroom.
Were the bedroom scenes all shot on location, or was that all on set?
On location. It was on location, and the bedroom, I did a major transformation, because in real life it didn't look that way. I pretty much had an idea how the set should look like in terms of props and design, and so I pretty much called a friend of mine who works as a production designer, and I asked her to help me out. So we painted the walls green. I purchased at least $2,000 in props. I mean, everything you see in the movie, it's self-bought. I paid for it. The dresser, the curtain, the mattress, everything you see in the movie, it was all bought.
That room definitely pops when you look at it. It's definitely, it's kind of its own character in a way.
Yes, absolutely. That's the first thing I look into a location, because location, to be honest with you, it has to be a character as well. And so, and I knew that the room had to be visually, stimulating, visually as far as the production design, so that people won't get bored at, just looking at a bare wall. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you lucked out that you were able to actually decorate it as much as you wanted, instead of some of those rented locations where like, don't touch anything.
Yes,
don't even use our bathroom.
Exactly, absolutely. And so when we finished wrap on the movie, I told the owner, hey, if you want to keep all of this, it's yours. And she goes, really? Yeah, it's all yours. You want to keep anything you want, except for the computer. But if you want to keep everything, you can keep everything you see in here. She kept everything. And she goes, you know what? I like the green tone. I like the green color. Like, you don't have to go and back and paint it white. I go, okay, that saves me money too.
When you went and you watched the final product after post, was there anything that you felt that you wanted to change, or did everything pretty much go as your vision directed?
I had ideas as far as like, there's this this apparition that appears in the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
and I wanted him to come back and capture it webcam, and for some reason, I was viewing it. I would put him like in the corners or through the webcam where shit is happening, and then I was looking through it like, no, that guy looks very corny. Like, that just didn't work, So that was the only thing that, I mean, everything that it's in the script, it's on the movie, pretty much. Everything that Carr and I wrote, it's pretty much what you see in the movie. But then as a director and an editor, because I also edit it, what if I had more creepy stuff, like the green screen stuff that I did with the apparition. But it was just like going overboard. And luckily, I'm very realistic. You know what, Juan? I was talking to myself. That does not work. Just take it out. It just looks so cheesy.
So
and,
you definitely know when to start. You're not like a George Lucas where you're like, I'm just gonna a little bit more.
Yeah. So I know my limitations.
And my final question, which is the most important question, when and where can people see the Possession Diaries?
It will be out June 4th through Amazon Prime, perhaps iTunes, Vudu, Hulu. Every streaming platform you can think of will be out there. And so I'm hoping, I'm crossing my fingers that it will get picked up through Redbox as well.